Hey guys, it's Alexis, and today's video is a more serious video. It's my anxiety story. I remember when I used to wear beanies like all the time.
They did not do me good, and now I see it. But right now my hair's a mess, so bear with me right now. I'm just gonna keep it on for a little bit just to calm my hair down.
I've had anxiety since I was... It started with school. Preschool, I had separation anxiety from my parents. Then I did Montessori, so basically like preschool. Then I went to a private school and I had problems in kindergarten for like 2 days and I was good. Then it started again in first grade and I used to kick and scream and cry and I didn't want to go home and I wish the school would burn down and all this crazy stuff. But then I would get back in the groove and I would go to school for the rest of the year. I always start in the beginning of the year. I have separation anxiety, and then in second grade it started again in the beginning of the year. I did the kicking and screaming and crying and wanting my parents, and my parents would have to wait, or one of my parents would have to wait in the office until I said it was okay for them to leave. And then I would get in the groove, but then they started taking me to therapy to help, because it was at the point where my dad would say either get a spanking or go to school, and I would say I would take a spanking. I don't know what it was about school, or what it is about school. I just don't know. I like literally don't know what it is. My mind will make up anything just to not go. But me, I'm like, wow, it's so easy to go. But it's crazy. So then third grade came and I did that fine. Perfect. Yeah, there were problems with one girl in school and I took it like good and it never affected me. Fourth grade, it affected me at least a couple of times during the year. Nothing happened. I was fine. Fifth grade, I was fine. Sixth grade, I was fine in the beginning of the year until we went on a school trip called Outdoor Ed. And we had to spend the night, 2 nights, 3 days in like Lancaster, Palmdale. And I thought I was going to be fine. I was fine the first night. I could spend the night at someone's house. But yeah, I got anxiety. I could not sleep that night. I mean, I slept like around like 2 in the morning and I had anxiety, and until like 6th grade I still didn't really know what anxiety was. That's when I started to learn what it was, but that Outdoor Ed really triggered my whole anxiety again with school and separation. I did conquer a lot of fears, like I did height stuff and I forgot a lot of stuff, like cool things outside, hiking. The third day was fine because I knew I was going home that day. So after that I couldn't go back to school. I had a whole anxiety thing, couldn't go to school. It really triggered it again. My teacher used to say would pray for me. It was a Christian school. Would pray for me and this and that and tell me to like that's the devil, I don't know. And I went back like the last 2 weeks because it was 6th grade chapel and promotion, I don't know what it really, like to middle school or junior high. So I went to all that. 7th grade was easy for me to go back. I got over it. Then 8th grade came. I don't know what it was, but it affected me again. Not for a long time though. I got back in like the next month or so, but I did have the anxiety. I don't know why. I did 8th grade easily. Promotion, graduation, whatever. So yeah, 8th grade passed and 9th grade came. Being at the same school for 9 years, it's kind of hard to transfer from a private school to like 20 kids in a class to high school in a public school. that gave me anxiety. I was really, actually, you know what? I was gonna go to one school, but I changed because, you know, I was fine with going to like one school, but then my parents thought I was gonna get anxiety because of high school, and I think all the pressure, and it just affected me even more because I was just gonna fight through it. And then it was time to go to that school, so I went to another one which started later to give me more time. Then I started going to therapy, and I was like, wow. And then it just affected me. I only have been in one class in high school. I've only been to one class. Yeah, that's bad. I even went to the orientation for the school by myself, like knowing nobody, because I do have social anxiety too. But I don't know, it's just something triggers it, and it's crazy, and it just triggered it. And then for my 9th grade stuff and all that, I went to the therapy, and my dad had to call the cops on me for the like truant officers and all that to scare me. Maybe it'd make me go to school. It made it worse, and that's when they put me into independent study, which is high school, but I do it all the work at home, and it's more like for student athletes. And it was a good place for me. Just I needed to take a break from the anxiety, and you know, like you know. And then, yeah, everything was fine. I had a little bit of anxiety about that because I was like, I felt like I wasn't a normal kid. And, yeah, it was, you know, it was either that or go to juvie. Yes, there was still a chance for me to go to juvie because it was truancy. And I didn't want to because I know my anxiety would have been up knowing that I can't go to my parents and I would belong to the state. And, oh, no, 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 no. Anyways, so I am in school now, but well, it's summer, but anyways, everything was fine. I did softball. I was happy on my softball team. The softball girls knew my situation. I was happy there. It's not with certain things I wasn't happy with, but I was happy with the girls, and I was comfortable because it's hard for me to get comfortable on anything with like people my age, like my peers. And I was comfortable because I knew them for a while now, because that was the first team I ever tried out without like my dad, and I made the team by myself knowing just like 3-4 girls. But you know, it was like my first time doing something on my own, because this was like in 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade. And then, yeah, I got to know the girls. My dad started to coach because they asked him and all that other stuff. Yeah, I was fine. Sometimes my anxiety would kick in, but I just stood quiet. Then after certain things in drama, we had to leave the team, and that was hard for me because then I had to go to a new team, and God, my anxiety came back again. And oh God, my dad went on to another team to coach. I had a hard time going on to that team, and like knowing only like 3 people, that's still good, but I didn't want to leave like the girls that I was comfortable with and start over. I know it's a part of life, change is good, all that, I know, but I just didn't want to. Yes, you can say, oh, but when you get a job and you're comfortable and then you're gonna get I know, like everyone tells me this, I know. Or your dad can't always be a coach. I know, my dad was a coach though, but I know. So I finally went to the practices, all that. I started to get to know the girls. I liked them, you know. I got used to the girls. The coach wasn't the best coach. So then after that we had to leave the team because we weren't happy with his coaching, so we left. Me and the girls we knew. I knew for a long time that agreed. And now this is like recent now. So now we don't know where to go. The girls have separated. I did try out for another team. They played in the premiere, and that's when my anxiety hit me big, like really big. We were in Lancaster. I was supposed to play with them that weekend. I don't want to start over. It's just, went up Saturday, then I couldn't, so we left. My parents are mad, like really mad at me, and I don't want to disappoint my parents. So then I said I would go Sunday. The coach called me, and I didn't want to ruin it because my dad could coach, I don't know. But so Sunday came, we went. I was gonna warm up, but I couldn't do it. I freaked out. Well, not like freaked out, but like inside I was like, I can't do it. I wanted to go. I didn't want to play. The coach talked to me and all that small stuff, and I was crying, and I just did the whole day. I played one game and I couldn't do the next two. But I stood and all that stuff. Yeah. And if you're still watching to this point, like, thank you so much for hearing my story. But I'm still not done. There's still more. All that is, everything added up. My first worry, because before all that, I was getting sick a lot, like pale and all that. I thought I was dying. I thought I was anemic, because I would get really pale and sick all the time. And that's why it was another worry about me. I didn't want to get sick on the softball field. And we went to the doctor. They said I was fine. And then that weekend we went to San Diego. I had a pressure in my head and my ear, and it was like ruining my trip. And we went, though. It was so beautiful. We were like Mission Bay or something like that. And we went, and we had fun the first day. We had my dogs, we had Gizmo, all of them. And yeah, and then that night, oh my god, like, my anxiety hit me so big. That was like the worst. I thought I had to go to the freaking emergency room. The pressure in my head was so bad. I was dizzy. My stomach, I was sweaty, like this cold sweat. I was pale. I got up and I was pacing back and forth, and I was like, I need to go to a doctor. I was freaking out because I thought I was like sick with the pressure in my head and the paleness, and I was like, I need to go see a doctor, or we need to go somewhere. And I was pacing back and forth. My mom has anxiety, and she saw like it was an anxiety panic attack, and that was like the worst feeling in the world. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy ever. So my mom made me take half of her Xanax to calm me down. It calmed me down, but I couldn't go to sleep because of the pressure in my head. But it helped. I finally went to sleep. That next day, I still had that pressure in my head. My cousin came over to like San Diego to hang out. He's never been to San Diego, and I try to keep a smile on my face and always be happy, because he's younger. He's like 10, 11, and I didn't want to ruin it for him. His first time in San Diego, we went on a boat ride. Yeah, I had the pressure in my head, but when I would get my mind off it, it wasn't that bad. So, but then we went out to eat. We got home. We got back to the room. We went to Seaport Village and all that. And in Seaport Village, it hit me again. And I needed to go home. Oh, I remember that night, the night before, I was just all night saying, Mom, I want to go home. Let's go home, It's 2 hours away, but I was like, I don't care. I just need to go home. I need a comfort zone. So anyways, we went back to the room after eating in Seaport Village and all that. And I just said, we have to go home now, like, because we had one more night, and then we had to leave in the morning. I was like, we have to go home. I can't do it. I took a Xanax just so I could be calm. And we went home. I got home. The pressure in my head was still there. Me and my mom slept on the couch downstairs because the living room downstairs is like my comfort zone. I don't know why. We just slept. I had the pressure in my head. We slept there. I laid there. Couldn't really sleep, but I was more comfortable. Being home, it kind of felt unrealistic that I was there. I don't know if that was a panic attack. I don't know, but I felt uncomfortable in my home, but comfortable at the same time. It's really hard to explain that. But yeah, and after that, we went to the doctor the next day because of the pressure in my head. Actually, we called a nurse, a nurse doctor on the Kaiser and all that, to see if I needed to see a doctor. Yeah, they wanted me to see a doctor because it was my head, and we went, they checked me, they did a blood test. I have a fear of needles. I took a blood test so simple, I was just like, do it. Yeah, I freaked out a bit, like I was like scared, but I wanted to make sure everything was okay with me. Everything seemed fine. They had me see a head and ear specialist the next day because they were gonna do it, but we made sure it was the next day. We made it the next day because that morning I had the head pressure, and I was having another panic attack or anxiety attack, and we had to call the nurse people to make sure, and they wanted to see me. I did have fluid in my ear that was causing a little bit, but the anxiety was affecting it way more than it should have. Then the next day I went to a therapist / like psychiatrist person who like specializes in anxiety and depression, I think, and they ordered for me to take medication. I was gonna take medication when I was like 9th grade starting, but we didn't want to. But now they want me to take medication just to get the chemical imbalance in my head to work right, to be balanced. And that's what I'm doing now. I was sick for a while. I'm still not 100%. I'm like 90. I missed my friend's 16th birthday, but I try to do things to get out of the house, and I'm fine. I still get like dizziness sometimes because it's my anxiety. So that's my anxiety story. I just want you to know, if you have it, you're not alone. Everyone has it. Everyone has it differently. Some the same. Anxiety is just like, you have the good and the angel and the devil, and anxiety is the devil trying to make you scared. Or anxiety is good, it protects your body from danger, but sometimes it overdoes it a little bit too much. you gotta say, you know what, if you're feeling a head pressure, that is anxiety because you are stressing a lot. Still get it checked out, because I always want to make sure, because that will actually give you a relief that you're fine. Because anxiety has 100 symptoms. It can make you literally feel like you're dying, because your brain literally makes you tell you all this thing. You have cancer, you have a tumor, oh my gosh, you're gonna die tomorrow. What if you're dying right now? What if is the main one in anxiety. And you just gotta say, well, if it happens, it happens. You just gotta go with the flow. Yes, I'm saying that, but it is hard for me to do. The best thing for treating anxiety is to talk to someone, because holding it in makes you think more. If you talk to someone, and hopefully they're good to talk to, and they tell you all the positive things, like you're okay, you're gonna be fine, you're healthy, no, that won't happen, you just let it go. You know, you gotta stop thinking of the what ifs, and you know, if you're gonna think of what ifs, think of what if like good things, you know. But if you have no one to talk to, you can always talk to me, because I have it too, and I would love to help anybody with this, because this is like, it sucks really bad. I feel like I felt so horrible that I would look at people, like when I would be driving with my parents or whatever, and I would look outside the window and see all these people walking. They feel good, and I feel just not normal, and it sucked. It really sucked. You need to find someone to talk to, and don't hold it in, don't hide it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone has anxiety in their own way, and you would be very surprised how many people actually have an anxiety disorder, because I've had it since I was young, and I'm treating it because just a chemical imbalance. That's all it is. You're fine. It's not gonna kill you. You just gotta deal with it. And you're okay. You're fine. It's just something you gotta live with. And you can do it. I promise. Just talk to somebody. Don't give up. And just stay positive. And that's all you have to do. I promise. Things will get better. Okay guys, so that's the end of my video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below if you have anxiety and what you do, and tell me about your anxiety story and all that. And DM me on Twitter. My Twitter or Instagram are below. Follow me, talk to me. I'd love to help you. And if you haven't, subscribe. And I'll make more videos helping you guys if you want. I'll see you next Tuesday with a more happier, funny video. If they're funny, really. Alright, I'm gonna go. Okay. Bye.